Alright. No fancy intros or anything like that. We're just gonna hop straight into it. Today we're playing Forever Winter. It's early access Tarkov-like shooter. Go into more details as we go. Just gonna show you guys around. Been having a lot of fun with it lately. Been running around doing a lot of the missions, the quests that come around with it. For anybody who's into the whole looter shooter roguelike gameplay, this is probably gonna be something you might be interested in. If it's not, then, well, you're missing out. It's a good game so far. So just kind of go over a little bit about what we see right here. So this is like the main hub. It's a PvE only version of the game. There is no PvP. That may change in the future, but right now there is no word about whether it will or won't. You've got a couple of different areas in here, but all of them are accessible through the menu. So you can see, you press escape, go in the menu. You've got your different quests, which you'll unlock more as you play. You won't have all of these from the start. Squads. 9 times out of 10 it takes a second for this to load, but you can set it friends only, public, invite only, and select your different regions and stuff of that nature. This will update as you go. But the different regions, you've got, so let's start with the ones that are locked. Frozen Swamp, Stairway Gate, Shanty, and Downtown Los Angeles. These are currently locked maps that they haven't finished and are not coming out with yet. So the only ones we have access really to is Scorched Enclave, which is probably one of the main ones that you'll end up spending a lot of time on. Elephant Mausoleum, which I've done a little bit on this map, but not as much as I'd like to say. Mech Trenches just recently got finished, or at least it's no longer in progress, because, you know, Underground Cemetery here, this was locked until yesterday. So now we have Mech Trenches, which is no longer in progress, and we now have access to Underground Cemetery, which is in progress. So, Scrapyard Nexus, which, in my personal opinion, is more like just an arena. It's you and your enemies, and not much else to it. It's just an enclosed area, kind of like if you were playing like Quake or Unreal Tournament, and you were just fighting. It's mainly just bring a bunch of ammunition, bring a bunch of medkits, and go. Just go. And then my second favorite map, or honestly my favorite map, is Ashen Mesa, which Scorched Enclave is like the beginner map. This is where you're going to start off a lot of the times, because that's where a lot of your quests are going to lead you to. But Ashen Mesa, the environment of how large this map is compared to Scorched Enclave is actually really nice. One of the things I like about it the most is that it's not your typical Scorched Enclave. It's more vibrant, if that makes sense. You won't run into the issue of the whole map being orange at 90% of the time. Continuing on, because so for first, just to let you guys know, we're going to do a Scorched Enclave run, and we're going to be going from the cemetery, because you can start from cliffs and cemetery, I believe, unless you have the reputation, then you can start at bunkers. But I believe the two initial spawns is cliffs and cemeteries, but we'll get into that in a second. For your vendors, obviously you won't have all of these at the start. I believe the ones you start off with are the scavenger NPCs only, and I believe it takes water to unlock Bundleton. So you'll only start with Heisenberg for pharmaceuticals, Charles for recruits, and Bunkos for weaponry. And now I'm not going to go into detail on the merchants as of right now, because they can change, and because obviously you won't have everything unlocked from the start. Like, he mainly sells ammunition, but you can go to attachments and view parts and stuff of that nature, and if he has them, he'll have them, which he doesn't. The recruits is fairly obvious. When you're playing, you can get AI teammates, and it costs money, which is easy to make. I have 2.2 million, and I haven't been playing that long, so you can definitely get there fairly easily. And then, the pharmaceuticals is your med kits and stuff of that nature. So I'm actually gonna buy these real fast because every time you get out of a mission they reset. And I'm an avid user of the advanced and standard first aid kits because I get shot a lot. A lot. And then obviously, you've got your more sophisticated merchants, like this is your rigs guy, which he doesn't have anything for me because I own all the rigs, but he will have stuff for you when you unlock him. And then to get to your final point, you've got your characters. So I don't know each character specifically, but I will go over them as I know them somewhat. Starting with my main, which is Bagman. He has a skill tree that allows him to essentially go through and increase his carry capacity, grenade launcher training, and then proficiencies with weapons that he uses. So these are very specific. So like your LMG expert will only work for light machine guns. Your HRF expert for heavy rifles will only work with heavy rifles. So if you get like a heavy machine gun, this doesn't cover it. If you get like a light rifle, this will not cover it, etc., etc. The main thing I use him for though is his carry capacity. Is just simply because there's a lot of loot, and I like to pick up loot. Everybody does. Everybody likes loot. Going over the rest, Shaman. From what I've been told, he is extremely quick, but he's not. So the fastest person in the game is Scav Girl, but Shaman is a close second. Just like the others, besides Bagman, he can see loot on the HUD at double the normal speed, or normal distance. And he's also proficient in different weaponry, so he can use like submachine guns and pistols, whereas Bagman is more of like a heavy weapons guy, grenade launchers, heavy machine guns, LMGs, stuff of that nature. Maskman, he's more of like a weaponized person. He's got the same proficiencies as Shaman. He's got a lot more weapon skills though, so you see he's got like the rifle expert and the heavy rifles and then the grenade launchers and the LMGs and stuff of that nature, and that's his capabilities. Then you got Scav Girl, same thing. And then you got the Old Man, which this is the one you'll initially start with. As far as a loadout goes, we'll go with a basic one that I always use. You can make different ones, click on them, customize them, stuff of that nature. But we're going to go with the pack mule, because that's the one I run. Gives you a little bit more room to take in items. Standard loadout, right now you just have your healing. You have other things to heal as well, but you always want to just kind of stick to your first aid kits. Unless you're in raid and you find this stuff, then it might be worth it at that point. So unlike Tarkov, there is no magazines. It is just your ammunition. So what you'll want to do is you'll just look over, find your weapon. I'm using the M4A11, so it's using 5.56. Then bring a couple of reloads. So I got a 60 round drum mag on there. 2 reloads, give or take. Okay. So to go over the quest a little bit, so like I said, you'll have a very limited amount, and it's not going to look like mine. Not at the start. You'll have more specific ones towards going towards Scorched Enclave, which I do not right this second, I don't think. So what you'll want to do when you come in is you're going to want to go up here to this tab and find your quests. And you're going to get some quests that take you in, and you're going to want to use those to kind of help you out. So to explain a little bit more, I'm going to show you the water system, which is, it's a fairly simple system. Some people, they don't like it. I can see why they don't like it. Some people, they do like it. I don't personally care for it. But this is the water system. So you can upgrade the capacity to 99 through the upgrades for the innards, just the hub. And you can get, you know, each barrel of water is 1 day. And when this runs out, it's like your character dies, essentially. Um, your loot, everything will be lost. Your experience for your characters, I believe, are kept, but everything else is lost. So you have to come in at least once every while and make sure you keep water, which is, it's not hard. Every quest usually gives you water as a reward. It's like this one, those two don't. So this one right here, 3 days of water, and all you got to do is just go into the underground cemetery, the new map, and rescue some survivors and then leave. This one, 2 days of water, you just have to loot a picture from Ashton Mesa. 2 days of water, just like that, one mission. This one helps some civilians escape an elephant mausoleum. 1 day of water, easy. So you know, just by playing the game and doing quests naturally, you'll accumulate water over time. And that's really the big thing, is just you want to accumulate the water over time. This is the terminal and the hub customization. This is what I was talking about, where you can get the water upgrade. So you just kind of go through these, and you just have to kind of look through them. I have them unlocked already, so I believe like this one says 5 days of water minimum and 25,000 credits, and then this one is 8 days of water, 75,000 credits. So, you know, all in all, you may spend, let's see, probably maybe 800, 900,000 credits in total in order to upgrade the full thing. Now, it's not hard. Making money is not hard in this game. To be completely honest with you, it's actually a little easier than most games I've played. It's early access, so that could change in a while. One of the main things that I like about this game is that it's running smooth after loading it. So now, I'm going to warn anybody who tries to give this game a chance. It is not going to run smooth your first playthrough. This game does local caching, and you have to load a map before it'll load like normal, like a regular game. So you're going to have issues going in for your first time, but I'm going to take you through the first map, let you guys kind of decide for your own. So as you can see, this is the hire recruit stage, where anybody that you have hired, you can bring them in with you. I don't personally do it. AI gets me killed. They're not fine-tuned yet, so there's not really a lot of a reason to bring them in. Give them a little bit, and when they fine-tune it a little bit more, you'll be able to use them a little bit more. But for now, you can kind of see that I've got my M4A1 60 round magazine with 2 reloads. I've got 5 in the chamber, 60 reloads on the NTW. And then I've got my ammo. Okay, ammo. I've got my 5.56, my 50 cal, and my medkits. Now I'm only bringing 5 and 5 because I'm not actually going for a full raid. I just want to show you guys kind of like the layout and a little bit of the control in combat. But we're going to start a countdown at 3. We're going to go ahead and go in. Like I said, you're not going to have the easiest time getting in and out of these raids. Your whole thing is made around trying to get in and get out without going into combat. So You will notice that I am
You know
prestiged
the
up. If
drill.
you looked at the level up my
Stick
character on
together
the innards, you'll
and stay
notice that I'm
alive.
level 15 of 25. That accumulates health, and that's why I have so much health. Originally, you start out with actually like 1500 HP, I believe, and every prestige gives you a health bonus. So as you can kind of see, it's got first person ADS, it's got third person ADS. You can switch between by using alt, left alt. Does right alt work? No, it doesn't. Only left alt. Um, Actually really handy in certain positions. So you want to ADS inside of like close quarters and then use your third person whenever you're out and about in the open. Because for me, I believe that the third person aiming, even though it's not direct aiming, is a little bit better. Whereas ADS is better for like corridors and hallways. But we'll get into that later. Scopes and zooming in, fairly simple. This is the 50 cal sniper that I was using. It also has a third person ADSing, which is really interesting. 1 and 2 to switch through weapons. If a weapon has the capability, you can hit F in the bottom right corner to switch between your different firing stages. It's like the M4A1 has the auto, burst, and semi. And I mean, I run most of my weapons on auto all the time, no matter what, because I burst fire with auto, just in case. But yeah, now in the bottom left corner, you'll see the other tabs. You'll see open rig, which is just tab, which just opens your rig. You'll see consumables, which it'll have the 3 above it. This allows you to switch between your consumables. So if I hit 3, it'll switch to my advanced medkits. If I hit 3 again, it'll switch back to my standard. And then for equipment, when you find large items, now this slot right here is a large item slot. When you find something, if it's a usable item, it'll be showing up inside of your equipment tab there. And for instance, it could be like a rig light or an ID, a drone, not a drone, a turret, things of that nature. And it'll be the same thing, you just hit 7 to cycle through, and then for that the keybind is Q to deploy whatever those are. So for the most part, we're just going to do a simple short run. I'm kind of going to show you a few key things that I wish I would have known going in. We're going to try to avoid conflict, but if we can't, then we can't. Kind of see them fighting out there. Just gonna sneak our way around these guys. Now, like I said, the AI is a little, off at times. Sometimes you'll have something happen that makes sense, and sometimes you'll have something like that that doesn't make sense, but there's, you don't want to get involved. For the most part, um, and I'm sorry about the coughing and stuff. I'm getting down with a cold right now, and I'm trying to like get over it. It's been a bit difficult, so apologize for the coughing. Now you guys will notice that the sound isn't as loud, the gunshots and whatnot, despite that I am close enough. I do have my sound volume down, because when I play with my friends, we tend to have music and conversations going, and I get a little overwhelmed having all these explosions and gunshots going around on me, and not being able to hear them, and then they ask me a question and I can't respond. So I've learned to just turn volume down on games so that I can hear them. But we're going to sneak by all of this combat, and we're going to drop down right here. I want to show you guys the first thing that I wish I would have known coming into this game. So we discovered this on like our first playthrough, but we never knew how to do it. Call it lack of situational awareness, but I'm going to show you guys so that you at least have an idea. So when you walk up to this corner, you'll see locked, press E to enter code. So now, we thought that there was a code inside the map somewhere we had to find. We didn't see this. We didn't know this was the actual code. And it's actually brain dead simple to open these doors now. So you see, this looks like that. You know, so click it. And then that. I'm blind. Hold on. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Ah, there it is. Click on that. Then that looks like this. And that looks like this. And then that looks like this. And then that looks like this. And then you just hit enter. And it'll open up. Now there is a lot of good stuff in here sometimes. You'll have like the large lock boxes. Those sell for like 12, 13,000. You'll have more large lock boxes and stuff of that nature. Waters that you can get out. Explosives in case you're on those quests. More water. And then there can sometimes be like the loot storage in here and stuff of that nature that you can loot through. Now, some of this stuff is worth taking. Some of this stuff is not. You know, if you've played a looter shooter before, then you'll kind of understand the dynamic of the game. So like some things sell for a decent amount. Like weapon techs, I believe these sell for like 6,000 each. So take them. I use 5.56 ammunition, but I play enough that I'm probably not going to need that kind of ammo for a minute, despite running through it so often. But I try not to get into combat when I play this game, because while yes, I can kill almost everything there is to kill that has a health bar, the game is built around the principle of you are not him. And if you actually look on their Steam store page, if you scroll down on their description, there's actually a picture, and it's a really beefy, badass looking guy, and then it has a little title next to it. It says, "You are not him." And then if you scroll down a little bit, there's an old man, which is actually the character in the game, and it says, "You are him." And the principle of this game is to sneak around and be a little rat. You're not taking fights because you're supposed to lose. You're just trying to loot and get away from the enemy. You don't want to be caught up in their war. Release those guys so they can be my distraction. Run free! So looting is pretty simple. It's like Tarkov or any other games that have this kind of system. You open up a bag, it searches automatically, and then you just click to loot it, or you just hit loot all. There's another type of looting in this game, which I really like the idea of. I'm hoping they do more with it, because it would be really nice to see. Well, loot's disappearing. Ah, here we go, before this disappears. So this is a weapon that you can loot. Now, some of these weapons are broken, some of these weapons are damaged, and then some of these weapons are destroyed. Now, recent update made it to where a lot of these guys can't actually have weapons drop that you can fix. And right now, there's no way to fix a weapon that you find in raid. There was a bug for a while. I didn't know it was a bug. But if you brought a damaged weapon out and not a destroyed or broken, or maybe it was broken weapon, either way, you would bring the weapon out and it would repair it and it would give it to you. And I thought that was part of the game because it made sense. If you found a broken weapon, then instead of a destroyed weapon, then you could bring it back and it would repair, or you would be able to repair it. But it apparently wasn't part of the game, it was actually a bug. So you can kind of tell the ambience of this first map is highly orange. And I'm not going to complain about it. It actually looks really nice. It looks like a war-torn, scavenged land where everybody is kind of fighting over, you know, what's left. And the principle of this game, from what I've gathered so far, is their wars have just completely and utterly destroyed what I believe is considered Earth. I hope this is Earth. It doesn't really make sense if it's not Earth, because, you know, it's whatever. But the principle of it is that their wars between mechs, and for all of my 40k fans, I call them the Necrons because they're cyborg users. they actually 100% look like the Necrons. But that's neither here nor there. Let me get out of the way of these guys real quickly so I don't have to get into a firefight. And before I leave this map, I will get into a quick skirmish with a small body count so that I don't have to actually expel as much ammunition, because I do want you guys to see some of like how the combat works. With the newest update, they've fixed headshot damage based on caliber. So now you have the headshot implementations. Oh, there's the Necrons. And they're dead. I'm gonna run over there and actually show you guys that. So for my 40k fans that, you know, they like the Necrons or they're aware of the lore, the they look like zombies when you're watching them, but to me, because I've been playing a lot of Dawn of War lately, they look like Necron warriors if they didn't have the sweet plasma weapons. And I don't know, it's just, you know, they just highly remind me. There's some weird body physics going on here. Alright. But they just kind of remind me of the Necrons. And I thought their ships, which that one is dead, I thought they looked familiar to me. And it's because they look like the scarabs that would go on the battlefield and scavenge bodies and allow the Necrons to replenish their troops. But that we're not playing 40k, we're playing Forever Winter. So let's keep talking about this. So, no, there's 3 different factions. 4 if you consider the scavengers. There's the Europans, which I hope I said that right. I don't really know how to pronounce any of these names yet. There's the Eurasians, which are the Necrons essentially, from what I've gathered. They're the cyborgs and, you know, the things of that nature. And then there's one more called the Uraskans, which, again, I hope I'm saying these right, because I don't want to be butchering their names and then have somebody tell me, oh, you said it wrong. But anyways. And then, you know, you've got the 4th faction, which is the Scavengers, which I'm not going to consider as a faction. With the amount of weaponry I can bring in compared to the amount of weaponry they actually have at their disposal in every single mission, I feel more like a rat. So I'm going to refer to the Scavengers as rats entirely. One of the main things is that each faction has different super weapons, right? So, you know, for instance, I believe the Europans, they've got the mechs. I think all of them have mechs, but the Europans have the mechs. The Uraskans have the tanks. And so do the Eurasians.
So we can move on.
The Scavengers have us. And we're not that great. I have an M4A1 and I'm fighting cyborgs and tanks and mechs. And yeah, it's just not really a great time. But, so let me show you a little bit more of the combat real fast before I dawdle off into a different side of the world. So, it's fairly simple. There is bullet drop in this game. I'm not really familiar with whether or not it's hit scan or if it's actual projectiles. It feels like it's projectile based. Because while I can be sitting here aiming at his head, if a shot goes between his legs, it won't hit him. So I feel like it's not hit scan. I feel like it's just projectile, which is really good for me. I love projectile based weaponry. But I'm going to go ahead and show you some of this. So you can kind of see there's 5 or 6 targets here. As soon as I fire an unsuppressed weapon, there's probably going to be a lot more than that, but that's why I came here, because the extraction to leave the map is right there for me. So let's go ahead and get this underway. And then switch weapons, because I want to show you guys the next one. So those are the Necrons, the cyborgs, the Eurasians. And you'll kind of see it up in the top left corner where I have like the minus sign and the plus sign between those names and stuff. So that's my reputation going up and down based on live gameplay. So if I kill somebody from Europan, then I will actively ruin my reputation with them. If I kill somebody from Eurasia, then my reputation will be ruined with them. Now the difference is that killing somebody of a different faction will also raise your faction level with the others as well, because that means that you're technically fighting for them as well. As being a scavenger, though, I I don't see it that way. I play this game under the pretenses of it is my life above all others, and I will make sure that I get out alive at the end of every raid, no matter what. And everybody else is dead meat if they get in my way. Now, I'm not saying I won't work with them, because I will work with any enemies that take the gunfire for me so that I don't have to shoot. And then I loot the remains of the enemy corpses that they leave for me. But in scenarios where, say for instance, I can't go that way, I can't go that way, and I can only go forward, this is the Euroskins. They mean nothing. I don't care about the reputation between myself and them. The only thing that matters to a scav is that you get out alive. Getting out alive from a mission gives you your stuff back, loot that you gain inside, quest completions, and the most important thing, it gives you experience. And gaining that experience allows you to level up your characters. And that's what really makes or break this game. A fresh level 1 character, if one of these mechs, which I was looking for one, but I can't actually find one, so I think none of them spawned on this map. But if one of these mechs shot me at level 1, I was dead instantaneously. But I've noticed as I've prestiged and leveled up, which that's what they call their leveling up, they call it prestiging. I've noticed that as I've gone, the health has gone up, and I've noticed that I can take more than one shot now. Albeit, 2 shots is my max. But if I get hit once, I tend to not instantaneously die now. Depending. If they had shot me with a 20mm autocannon, then I more than likely will just face plant and get the game over sign. More or less, that's what usually happens. But say, for instance, they get a body shot, or if they just shoot the ground near me, instead of killing me instantaneously, I'll have like 5 HP left, which is better than an insta-kill, I'll be completely honest. I saw this right here, so I'm going to show you guys this. This is one of the tanks. There we go. It's a Euroskin T90. For some reason it's not moving. I feel like it's just kind of guarding my extraction. And let me get a shot at. What shot? Bring the rain. Oh, drone. Okay, well, I don't really feel like nothing with it. I'm not going to heal because I'm extracting anyways and my health will go back to full. But yeah, that was Scorched Earth. An
exit is an exit.
Like I said, it's
clean or otherwise.
The combat is usually more refined, and there's a little bit more to it than just what I've shown you. But one of the main things I wanted to show you from that was that door. That door, like I said, it may have just been situational awareness for me and my friend group, but we couldn't figure out how to open that door. And after Googling online for an hour and a half, there was really no answers on how to open that door. So one day I just went over there and I just started putting in random stuff until it locked me out. And then I saw that. I was just like, well then. But for the most part, it's your standard ending of mission screen, your mission debrief. How many kills you got, who you killed, how many assists you got. I play solo mostly, so 0. How much experience you gained, how many extractions you gained. Well, you can only really gain 1 extraction, but it's nice to see a 1 next to that instead of a 0. Actually, I like seeing a 0 next to downed, and this just feels better. This means I got out alive. You can go to loot acquired, and it's going to show what you brought in as well. So don't make a mistake. So usually, it'll have a fine line between what you brought in and what you didn't, because your loot that you brought in with you will always be at the very bottom. And then stuff that you pick up in raid will always be at the top. So everything past this tool case is what I brought in, obviously. But I didn't loot a lot. I wasn't really there for the looting. And then it'll show you the quests. You know, your progress that you made on them and stuff of that nature. And then you just return to innards. And, you know, I'm not really a big fan of the movement in this game, but I will say this. The movement is more refined than most games that I've played. In this one, it feels like there is weight behind the movement. Rather than in like some games, it feels like the weight matters little to none, and it just kind of feels clunky. But here it actually feels real. It feels like I'm carrying, you know, 249 kilograms on my back, which I don't know about that. For the most part, though, I'm going to take us back in and just do one more. But I'm going to take us in on the other map, because I want you guys to kind of see what I'm talking about. So, you saw Scorched Enclave, very orange, very tuned to its, you know, gameplay, very straightforward. I'm going to take you guys to my second favorite map, or my first favorite map, because I really don't like Scorched Enclave all that much. But that's Ashen Mesa. And this is where I spend a lot of my time. I actually do, most of my raids I do here. I only go to Scorched Enclave if I'm wanting straightforward, quick raids. Ashen Mesa is where I go if I want like 20, 25-minute raids. And now most of you will say, well, Karma, you just did an 18-minute raid on Scorched Enclave. I'm also talking and going slower and, you know, explaining things to you guys. Whereas on Ashen Mesa, 20-minute raid is probably like my faster time. And that's if I'm kind of like gunning through stuff. Whereas like if I'm taking my time, slowing down, and not getting into fights, it's more like a 35, 40-minute raid. We're not going to start from bunkers. We're going to start from city ruins. And again, when you start, you won't have bunkers. It's a requirement through reputation. So you're gonna want to start at city ruins. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The safest extraction I've seen comes from city ruins. I don't like dying. Yeah, I get it that it's a part of the game. I don't like it. I don't want to die. I know y'all don't want to die either. So this is just kind of like my way of doing it. Gonna go in here. Let's see, you know, 15 to 25 lifetime experience and carry capacity and stuff like that, grenade launcher training and everything else. My loadout is still pretty much the same. I'm going to replace that half mag, or that half stack of ammo with a full stack. I've got my med kits in order. Alright, so I'm going to set it down to 3 seconds and we're going to start. And I'm not really going to stop and show you guys everything. I'm going to show you guys like the cool parts of this game and kind of let you see some of the combat a little bit more defined. But in terms of how the game runs, you'll have to really play it yourself to understand. I can say it's like Tarkov. I can say it's like Daisy. I can say it's like a bunch of things. But you'll never really understand how the game feels until you play it yourself.
Game faces, people.
I like this game. I do. It's a very interesting game. It's very intense at times. You know. Good God. Yeah, hey, y'all fight, leave me out of it. Let me get around that rock first. Oh. Alright, that drone won. We're gonna get away from that combat, because I don't really want to fight a drone right now. So I'm gonna try and get to like the center before No Man's Land and kind of let you guys see. You'll see the different warring factions. You know, technically I think the Eurasians versus the Europans. Yeah, the EODs. So think of that for my 40k people. Think of that like the Necron warriors versus like full-blown ultramarines or something, however you want to think about it. We're going to kind of skip through a lot of this right here. I don't want to get into combat with anybody just yet. I am going to get into some combat here, but I'm not going to get into a lot of combat. Primarily want to show you guys... Aha! Okie dokie. Here we go. So this is kind of like what I was talking about. You have your different warring factions, and they will constantly be fighting each other. So like, there's different mechs for different factions, and they will fight, and they will not stop fighting until one of them is completely dead. It just makes for really cool cinematics, because like, you really won't find this kind of entertainment, and I say that as in, oh, let them get a little bit closer.
Enemy contact. Not sure where.
Hey, quest completed. But yeah, I mean, sorry about that. You'll see, they just stay down there. They fight. This whole center area from that tank to the destroyed one way down there, it's considered no man's land for me. Every time I have stepped foot out there in that barren wasteland of death and destruction, somebody has shot me with... That tank is getting pushed around by the mechs. That's crazy. Every time I have stepped out there, I have always gotten blown into smithereens by one of their damn rockets that they shoot out. And like I said, it's... They cause damage, and if they were capable of getting up here and just hunting me down, I would probably never be able to play this game. I'd be dead consistently. Hey, whoa, stray shots.
I hate this job.
That's a new one. Yeah. Looks like I've overstayed my welcome here. The respawns are happening because dude spawned on top of the house. We're gonna go ahead and just kind of push forward though, get out of this area. So, gonna grab some water.
Not too
Loot the storage real fast. Neuro uplinks. Ooh, advanced first aid kit. Pictures. See, told you just gotta come in and just loot pictures for that water. Kind of keep on pushing forward and trucking through. So I'm gonna go ahead and reload, top off my rounds. Got my sniper ready. I prefer to take long-ranged engagements because I can take more people out from a longer range with my sniper and be safer than I can getting into full-blown combat with my M4. And while I know some people have more of a run and gun kind of attitude, it only takes them getting one lucky headshot and you're dead. Contrary to popular belief, it only takes one time. Okay, the mechs are flying. Anyways, early access. Can't complain. Ah, man, I really wish this cold would go away. Anyways, so we're kind of running towards our extract. There's two when you start off from the ruins up there. There's one behind the military base, which I don't go to. That one has... I have unfortunately lost a lot of loot to that one. But the one we're going to is probably the safest one. You do get a couple of kills on the way, plenty of loot, and if you need explosives, there's always so many explosives to grab while you're over there. Just in general, just so much stuff to grab. The aftermath of the battle. I just like to watch them fight sometimes. That's just such a crazy thing. Like they did really well with setting up the different factions. Now, like I said, it's still early access. Some fine tuning a little bit later down the road. You could see a really good game in this. This is, you know, I still have some frame issues. From time to time, I drop to like 15, 20 frames, and I don't think it's a RAM issue or memory or leaks or anything like that. I think it's just that my computer is not strong enough to actually run this. And it's crazy that I actually have to say that because I don't really have issues playing any games except for this one. Ooh, hello there, guys. So that is an Exo, and he's a little mini mech. Now they're killable. Uh, they're actually more killable than that. What the hell? Well, let me get the hell out of the way. They're actually more killable than the larger mechs, which they're also killable. Those big mechs that you see fighting out there in that field, they have a health pool. How much health? Can't really tell you. No idea. Can I use this as a chance?
Shit.
Distraction?
Something's kicking out there.
Yeah, I'll use all as a distraction real fast. Oh!
Keep your heads down. We got this.
Nope. You can see he only hit me once, but he took a little over 300 health from me. Like I said, he's killable. It's not a matter of if he's killable or not. It's a matter of how much do you want a chance losing your shit. And like I said, I play this game with friends sometimes when they're on. I play this solo mainly, and my whole goal is to not lose anything, because losing stuff means I have to get it back, and I don't like having to get stuff that's mine already back. There's two ways to get to it. Honestly, I usually just take the fight and go that way. But there's also, if you think you don't have it, you can't take that fight. If you're running low on ammo, you can just drop down and go straight down this ramp right here, because all you have to do is go down the stairs. But I'm gonna show you the loot spot here. You know, I was telling you about how the explosives and waters and stuff like that. There's a lot of good loot here. So first things first, take out the far one. Drop those guys. And we're gonna come back and loot them in a second. Let's go ahead and get downstairs. Hip firing feels a little nicer than most games. Honestly, I still like the third-person ADS much better in my opinion. We're gonna go ahead and move up though. There's actually another mechanic, and I wish it has already popped for me so I could show you, but it's the hunter-killer mechanic. It's designed to remind you that you are not him, and that there are things out there bigger than you, and that they want to kill you. The hunter-killers can be triggered off of a bunch of different things. Anyways. Most primarily, they're triggered off of killing. So, you kill so many enemies, then the hunter-killers will spawn and begin chasing you. God, you're so obnoxious. Anyways. So, like I said, there's a bunch of loot here. Looks like this time I got the ammunition pool. Ammunition, weapon mods, large loot boxes. Yeah, it looks like I got the ammunition and storage version of this. So, normally, when I run through here, there's like 4 or 5 explosives right here, water, some water over there, a med crate, and then a storage over here. And then you loot it all, and you don't really have enough room to take it all, so you kind of have to take a choice. Do you need the water, or are you getting enough from the quest and you can take the explosives? Because you can't sell water for money. The water is 0. It has no value. So if you take it, you don't get money. And that's fine. You know, the water at least keeps your character alive and doesn't let you die. But, you know, like these are 2 explosives. This right here finishes the quest. If you've got enough room, enough large slots to carry 2 explosives, that will finish the quest 9 times out of 10. I think there is one explosives carrying quest where you have to get 3. So, you know, SOL. But most of the time it's just the 2. And that's really all you need. So I'm gonna go ahead and just walk this, hit loot all on each. I'm not really gonna look at the loot. I've done 2 raids showing you guys everything, and I haven't really looted anything yet, so I kind of want to go out of this one with a little bit of something. Take some ammunition, probably some 50 cal in there. Oh yeah, I'm at 189. There was definitely some 50 cal in there somewhere. Keep on looting. Like I said, you won't even have, so when you start, you won't have a rig like this. You'll have a rig that's 1 slot, like this one, and then you'll have a large slot at the bottom. And that'll be it. And that's, you'll have to make do with that until after, you know, you get what you need. These drones are lootable. That's kind of why I killed it, because I wanted to loot. It has these sell for a decent bit actually, about 7,000, 8,000 each. Now again, you know, I'm up in the millions, so you can kind of see how much I've played and how much I've grinded out to get this. It becomes significantly easier, especially when you get a rig like this and you do rat runs. Take no ammunition and you just take 2 LMGs, 100 shots each. That gives you 200 rounds for the entire mission. And then you can essentially just run around with 2 LMGs and no other extra ammo. And if you're confident enough, you don't really need the medkits. I usually just carry the medkits for like emergency situations, like if I need to cross a field and, you know, so many crawlers. Good God. You can kind of get a better look at them now. You kind of, these are cyborgs, supposedly. And I get it. I mean, they look cyborg-like, right? Yeah. A little bit more loot to get. Again, I'm not really looking at what they have, because I'm just trying to get out with a little bit more loot than usual. I was kind of hoping it would spawn the hunter killers from that, because that was a lot of enemies. I don't really have the ammo capacity to take on hunter killers right now, so we'll save that for another video later on. For now, though, if you like the game, give it a try. It's 30 bucks on Steam. Like I said, it's early access. Don't get your hopes up. I think they're doing a good job. Join their Discord, kind of ask around, talk to people. Don't join any debates on the Discord. I'll be completely honest with you. Too much toxicity for the debates. But asking questions and stuff, people answer it generally. And you know, I'm also playing. Can hit me up, ask questions, I'll answer. Try to at least. For now, that is me signing off.
I'm gonna sleep for a week.